Good morning, everyone. So, this may look a little familiar to you. This is what we did when we went out and did the scavenger hunt and got some descriptions. So, if you want to pull that out while you're working on this, it might help. But this link will be in Teams. So, what I want you to do for the first half an hour of class is you're going to pair up in, let's say, groups of 4. So there's 22 of you. There's going to be some extras and some, but pair up into groups. And I want you to just sit and go through this website. And your goal is to first just kind of go through each term and, check with each other, see if there's any that are weird to you. Maybe you're looking through this and you're like, okay, I still don't really understand what an Excite is at all. Talk to each other about it because sometimes the way I explain things might just not stick and somebody else may be able to explain it better. So look through these, quiz each other on them. So once you go through all of them, um, cover the screen and point to one and see if somebody can point it out. So the first half an hour is review so that you are able to do the assignment that you'll be doing for the rest of class. So everybody clap. We have an OSHA free day. We still have to get it done. So there's still going to be a lot of OSHA, but this lovely Tuesday, you do not need to watch OSHA videos. So after you're done reviewing, there will be another file attached to the post in Teams. You're going to download it. It's going to look something like this. So the idea for this is for you to pick a font of your choice. So before I do anything on here, I am an illustrator, by the way. We're going to use that for this project exercise. It's not really a project, but let's go find a font that we find interesting. So I like that one. It's very modern. So if this is the font that I'm doing, I am going to go through and see what I can label on my own. So not every font is going to have all of these things, right? Specifically, swashes, not every font's going to have a big curly thing on it. But if you do find one that has it, that's something you could label. So I would start with the ones towards the top of the list because every font will have something with leg in it, right? Every K will have a leg. So I could go to this and say, okay, maybe I'll start with K. And I'll click the type box. I want to make sure that these are all set to whatever font I chose. So they're, the template will have them all in Myriad Pro, but you would just go in here and say, okay, OCR-A Extended is what I chose. So you could select these all at the same time. Go into here. And now they're all the font that I want. So I'll do a K here. And then what I want you to do after you do that, and you can move these around. It looks like I didn't make them very centered. Whatever you want. This is just an exercise for understanding. Is you're going to expand it. Okay. So you're going to go to Object, Expand. And then I want you to figure out how to do the same effect that they had. So there's a couple different ways you could do this, but I'm going to show you the easiest one in my opinion. And we're going to want to use the Pathfinder. So we'll open it up. Mine opened up here. I'll make it a bit bigger. Quick review. Ignore all the other buttons. This one combines things together. This one takes the shape above and cuts it out from the one below. So what I could do is take this and I can copy it and paste it. And if you want it to go right on top of the other one, you can either do Command Shift V and it'll paste it right on top, or you can just hold Alt and you'll get that little double cursor and you can just move it to the side one, take your finger off the Alt button and move it back. And then I got that as well. So that's two different ways to do it. Now I have these two shapes on top of each other. So if I wanted to just cut out this one shape, I could just go over here and make a shape over the stuff that I don't want. Select the other one at the same time, minus front, and now I've got this little shape right here that I can then go in. Maybe I want to do like a nice mint green for mine. So there's my leg. And then I could go in and give it some kind of label. You don't have to do the whole description, But maybe you go in and you just, right leg. And if you see here, that little orange dot, I know this has to be so small on the TV, but the orange dot just means that it's too big to fit. And that is because I'm using 108 point font. So you can just pop that over to like 8 or something. I got my leg. So I'm not concerned about whether these look pretty. I'm concerned about whether or not you get them done. So you're going to be working in the same group of 4 that you did to review to complete these. So I want you guys to take turns. I think since there's like 4 in each row, you could, do one, switch seats, do the other, switch seats. Maybe one person does 4, the next person does 4. Your group can organize that amongst yourselves as long as everybody is participating. Down here, this is where your X height goes and where your cap height and your baseline. So those will be in this document here to review, but your X height is the midsection of any typeface, and it's determined by how big your X is. So I can copy this and drag it over here, and if you see, my X height on here isn't quite, it's really close, but it's not quite lined up. So I would just want to sit and adjust this to whatever it is. But maybe I'm doing a different font and it looks way, way different. That doesn't really look way, way different, does it? What about something like that? I would have a much different approach, and therefore I would have to move these lines around. So what you'll notice on this document is the lines that I don't want you to move. These guys, I already locked. These ones you're going to move around. Your cap height is whatever the top of the capital letter is. So if I turn this into a capital T, oh my goodness. There we go. That cap height isn't accurate at all, so I'd have to just grab this real quick and move it down. I'm working way too zoomed out to be able to use Illustrator right now. There we go. And that would be accurate. So that's what we're looking for. When you are done, you're going to print it out, and you're going to write whoever was in your group at the bottom down here. And as long as this whole thing is completed and your name's on it, you guys are good to go. This isn't going to be, like this big graded project. It's not going to be like the design matrix where it takes days and days. This needs to be completed by the end of class. So this is a good project to mess around with because you get to practice with the Pathfinder tool. And the Pathfinder tool is really fun. So let's do one more, just as an example, really, really quick. So I'm looking for an arm. They've got a V as an example. So we can go in here. I'm going to select this, turn it into a V. I'm going to go to Object, Expand, OK. And then I'm just going to copy it over. I got 2 on top of each other. And I'm going to come in and say, OK, so an arm is that top part. So I need to select everything except that arm. And it really doesn't matter what the shape looks like that it is on top, as long as it's covering whatever you don't want. And then I can come over here and just color pick, and I've got the same one. You can grab this as well, drag it over, and boom, done. And you can help each other with it. Pick a fun font, challenge yourselves, and have fun. See you on Wednesday.